One of the great things about Unity is the asset store, and you can pick up many free assets from the asset store, one of which is this animated soldier. The problem with the free assets is that very often the particular code they use becomes out of date. So we can get a free asset like this, and I'm in Unity 4.7 right now, and if I hit play, come back here, we can see this character seems to be working fine. We can see a moving platform over there. This character is pretty good in that he'll look around nicely. We can crouch down, etc. And of course we can take out this door we've got over here. We've got some kind of sentry. Let's see if we can take that out. If I can actually hit it. Boom, there we go. Let's take that out. And not able to make that fall over, but that's okay. And we can jump onto this platform. Nice animation, so well worth having a look at this character. But there's a problem. Firstly, you can hear there's no sound, and secondly, it doesn't jump. But other than that, this works pretty well in Unity 4.7. Okay, so if we come out of this and go to Unity 5.3, we've got a very similar scene. So let's hit play, and we immediately hit errors. All compiler errors have to be fixed. Okay, so if we hit the console, we can see we've got 24 issues, and just scrolling down, they're pretty much the same kind of issue. So the purpose of this video is to talk about what we do now, because instead of abandoning these free assets, which are, they're a heck of a lot of work by their creator and they're still useful, what we need to do is go into the code and find a way to debug it and think about the process of debugging. In fact, this is a process that will stand us in good stead when we're writing our own code, or we're again dragging down assets, or we want to add to assets and so on. We find problems. So first things first, what do we need to do? We need to read the console, and it tells us down here that in assets cartoon soldier scripts soldier, okay, bear with me, cartoon soldier scripts soldier, in fact I can see it down here, soldier animation on line 144 has a problem. So let's open this, double click it to open it in MonoDevelop and have a look at the code. So if we zip down to line 144, where are you, 144? Okay. It says Unity Engine component does not support slicing. Now we can see this is a JavaScript file. On 144 it doesn't support slicing. Now I know a little more than just being able to look at this. I know a little bit more about JavaScript and arrays and so on, so I have a sense of what slicing is, but imagine we simply don't know what that means. Well, we've actually got, I guess, 3 ways to approach this now. On 144 we seem to have some kind of animation problem, and it seems to be at character 17, so it's going to be here somewhere before this array that's obviously trying to be sliced. But what do we know? Let's come at this from a point of ignorance. This line doesn't work, right? The animation isn't working, so I can make an educated guess this is the problem. Now if you let's think about how we can approach this. If you highlight that and press the control key and the single quote, it will fire up a web browser and open up the docs for us, and it will search, here we go, for animation. So if we click on animation, we can see, well, we can see some references, but at this point it's not exactly clear to me what the fix is. So let's think about this again. Let's go back here and look at what the error name is. So it says BCE 0048. Okay, so let's go to say Google and go BCE, what was it again? 0048. Okay, 0048 Unity, here we are. Okay, so let's see what this says. Just pick the top one. That looks exactly like our error. Okay, yes, so this is our error. So here we are, animation going to square brackets. Let's look carefully here. So animation going to square brackets. So our second approach then is we've opened the animation documents. We've gone and looked to see if any of the community have this problem, and they seem to do. So he's saying, hey, you know, I had this problem, I tried this, that doesn't work, and we've got some best answers. So this is interesting because getComponent.animation down here looks very much like we saw here. So this looks like this could be the solution. We have a third way, however, just to really check, because we know it works in 4.7, but it doesn't work in 5.3. So again, why don't we hit Google and go to Unity. Let's just open Unity. Okay, that's fine. Let's just open this and do a search for, let's see what, well, there we go. Okay, so not what's Unity, what's new in Unity 1, but what's Unity, let's just say 5, because that was a major release as opposed to say 5.1 and so on. So what's new in Unity 5? And it seems that, let's do a Control F to find, it seems that get component is something relevant to us. And here's an interesting thing. So in Unity 5 they removed the quick property accessors, of which dot animation, okay, we've got animation, but dot animation appears to be one, and it's saying instead use get component to get these references. Right, so if we go back now to here, we've got get component animation. So it looks like, and in fact the community seem to agree that that looks like the solution before square brackets, and say all I'm doing here is I'm trying to pattern match. And this is very often how I debug, because if we had intimate knowledge of what the code did, we wouldn't be here, would we? We would just be correcting it. So I'm pattern matching here what appears to be 3 confirmations that get component dot angle bracket animation to call that that object before a square brackets. Okay, and by the way, in the documentation I'm using JavaScript here. Be sure to select the correct one. Right, so I am going to copy this, go back to Unity. Oop, in fact I'll go back to MonoDevelop, and I'll paste that in there. Getting rid of the semicolon, of course. So if I save this down now on line 144, will this disappear? So I've saved it, I can see I've saved it, there's no problems. And back in Unity, it says 144.43. So something's happening here. Ah, it's alright, that's what's happening. I got rid of the angle bracket. Okay, a little bit of debugging. Go back to here. And 144 has now disappeared. So it appears we found a fix. But it's a fix that we need to do, by the looks of it, 23 more times. And find every instance. Let's see, when was the next one? 313. Let me just work this through. Okay, so we've got quite a few instances of animation. So it looks like we need to replace every instance of animation with our new code. It looks like that. Again, so if I save this, does 313 disappear when I come back here? Yep, 314. So this is the answer. So let's go through and change all of these, and then we'll come back. So here we are, we've made changes to each of the references to animation and put getComponent.animation in place. And when I've clicked back into Unity, it's now said this to me. It said that the automatic API updater is essentially going to run. Now I can cancel this, or I can run it. And in fact, I'm going to run this because it looks like we've got past our initial errors, and Unity has found some other deprecated features that it can update automatically. So let's do that. Okay, So it says it's finished updating, and we've only got 4 warnings now that screen.cursor is obsolete. So let's just see if we can now run this game. And we can. Nope. Assuming I can shoot straight. So it looks like we've fixed. Dear me. Here we go. You see why I don't play these kind of games. My word. You know I'm going to leave that there. Ugh, can't even get on the platform now. But we've fixed the issue with our code. Ah, oh, dear me. I am terrible at this, aren't I? I'll stick with the code. Okay. And everything else seems to be working fine. So there we go. There is an example of how to debug. What? I can't even get out of the game now. Debug the code and get an asset working.